Our life is what our thoughts make it. I cannot escape death, but at least I can escape the fear of it. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. The best answer to anger is silence. Poverty is the mother of crime. Do not be wise in words, be wise in deeds. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Very little is needed to make a happy life. Death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back. If any man despises me, that is his problem. My only concern is not doing or saying anything deserving of contempt. When pain is unbearable, it destroys us. When it does not, it is bearable. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Whoever does wrong, wrongs himself. Whoever does injustice, does it to himself, making himself evil. Stay calm and serene, regardless of what life throws at you. A good man does not spy around for the black spots in others, but presses unswervingly on towards his mark. If it's time for you to go, leave willingly, as you would to accomplish anything that can be done with grace and honor. The only wealth which you will keep forever is the wealth you have given away. Be content with what you are, and wish not change, nor dread your last day, nor long for it. Each day provides its own gifts. Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Here is a rule to remember in future when anything tempts you to feel bitter, not "this is misfortune," but to bear this worthily is good fortune. In the same degree in which a man's mind is nearer to freedom from all passion, in the same degree also is it nearer to strength. Never esteem anything as an advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect. Be satisfied with even the smallest progress and treat the outcome of it all as unimportant. I learned to read carefully and not be satisfied with a rough understanding of the whole, and not to agree too quickly with those who have a lot to say about something. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. Failing to understand the workings of one's own mind is bound to lead to unhappiness. Though you break your heart, men will go on as before. Anything in any way beautiful derives its beauty from itself and asks nothing beyond itself. Praise is no part of it, for nothing is made worse or better by praise. At day's first light, have in readiness, against disinclination to leave your bed, the thought that I am rising for the work of man. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Change your attitude to the things that bother you and you will be aware of them. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Do not think that what is hard for you to master is humanly impossible. But if a thing is humanly possible, consider it to be within your reach. I am an old man and have had many worries, but most have never come to pass. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Each of us needs what nature gives us when nature gives us. Receive wealth or prosperity without arrogance, and be ready to let it go. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. Because other people are fools, must you be so too? Never act without purpose and resolve, or without the means to finish the job. Each of us lives only now, this brief instant. The rest has been lived already or is impossible to see. Look back over the past, with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future too. Without a purpose, nothing should be done. Bear in mind that the measure of a man is the worth of the things he cares about. Every living organism is fulfilled when it follows the right path for its own nature. Often injustice lies in what you aren't doing, not only in what you are doing. If you do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life, and stop being aimless, stop letting your emotions override what your mind tells you, stop being hypocritical, self-centered, irritable. My only fear is doing something contrary to human nature, the wrong thing, the wrong way, or at the wrong time. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Settle on the type of person you want to be and stick to it, whether alone or in company. I'm going to be meeting with people today who talk too much, people who are selfish, egotistical, ungrateful. But I won't be surprised or disturbed, for I can't imagine a world without such people. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. The blazing fire makes flames and brightness out of everything thrown into it. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Think of what you have rather than of what you lack. In reading and writing, you cannot lay down rules until you have learned to obey them. Much more so in life. Because a thing seems difficult for you, do not think it impossible for anyone to accomplish. Always take the shortcut, and that is the rational one. Therefore say and do everything according to the soundest reason. It is a sin to pursue pleasure as a good and to avoid pain as an evil. I bless the gods for not letting my education in rhetoric, poetry, and other literary studies come easily to me, and thereby sparing me from an absorbing interest in these subjects. Give yourself time to learn something new and good, and cease to be whirled around. He who pays no attention to what his neighbor does, says, or thinks, preferring to concentrate on making his own actions appropriate and justifiable, better uses his time. Soon you will have forgotten the world, and soon the world will have forgotten you. Don't return to philosophy as a taskmaster, but as patients seek out relief in a treatment of sore eyes, or a dressing for a burn, or from an ointment. Regarding it this way, you'll obey reason without putting it on display and rest easy in its care. The wise man sees in the misfortune of others what he should avoid. Once you have done a man a service, what more reward would you have? Is it not enough to have obeyed the laws of your own nature without expecting to be paid for it? Happiness is no other than soundness and perfection of mind. Give full attention and devotion to each act. Time is a kind of river, an irresistible flood sweeping up men and events and carrying them headlong one after the other to the great sea of being. Consider at what price you sell your integrity, but please, for God's sake, don't sell it cheap. This is the mark of perfection of character, to spend each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, laziness, or any pretending. Whatever anyone does or says, I must be emerald and keep my color. Do every act of your life as if it were your last. Why should we feel anger at the world, as if the world would notice? Be cheerful also, and seek not external help, nor the peace which others give. A man must stand straight, and not be kept straight by others. Limit time to the present. Meditate upon your last hour. The memory of everything is very soon overwhelmed in time. For it is in your power to retire into yourself whenever you choose. Execute every act of your life as though it were your last. Do what you will, even if you tear yourself apart. Most people will continue doing the same things. How powerful is man! He is able to do all that God wishes him to do. He is able to accept all that God sends upon him. Put it out of the power of truth to give you an ill character. If anybody reports you not to be an honest man, let your practice give him the lie. It can ruin your life only if it ruins your character. Otherwise, it cannot harm you, inside or out. Consider how many do not even know your name, and how many will soon forget it, and how those who now praise you will presently blame you. External things are not the problem. It's your assessment of them, which you can erase right now. Never value anything as profitable to yourself that would compel you to break your promise, lose your self-respect, hate any person, suspect, curse, act hypocritically, or desire anything that requires walls and curtains. Both happiness and unhappiness depend on perception. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Dig within. There lies the wellspring of good. My true self is free. I cannot be contained. It is a disgrace to let ignorance and vanity do more with us than prudence and principle. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Live with the gods, and he does so, who constantly shows them that his soul is satisfied with what is assigned to him. To understand the true quality of people, you must look into their minds and examine their pursuits and aversions. It is the responsibility of leadership to work intelligently with what's given and not waste time fantasizing about a world of flawless people and perfect choices. To the wise, life is a problem. To the fool, a solution.